Being a coach demands that you are attentive and curious. You need to listen to the focus person and have full focus on what the focus person says and does not say. It is evident that you do not get disturbed by your own inner thoughts and good ideas for solutions. Remember that a solution that works for you might not work for the focus person. Being attentive is hard work, and if you let your thoughts drift away on matters like, when am I going to pick up my daughter from school? I hope this conversation takes less than 30 minutes, because I really have some tasks to attend to. Or, what a fantastic hair color she has chosen. You lose some important information that you may need later in the conversation. The best way to ensure that you stay attentive is to rest before a coaching conversation, get a good night's sleep ahead, leave other tasks mentally behind you. They will still be there when the coaching session is over. Use the waiting time between question and answers to observe body language. Curiosity is also about wanting to understand the focus person's situation and possibilities. The more curious you are, the more easy the powerful questions will come to you. Your perceptions are not needed, so focus your curiosity around questions like, who is the focus person? What personal strengths does this person have? What competences does this person have? What is behind the story? What are the relations all about? What is the larger agenda? What is this person willing to do? Being a coach also demands that you can appreciate your focus person, both as a human being and for the strengths that the focus person have. Be ready to express your appreciation. This strengthens the focus person's self-confidence and trust in own worthiness and capability to act. Make sure that the focus person is receiving the appreciation and not by habit is rejecting it. Be exact in your appreciation with details on why and how you perceive this as a strength. Be direct and precise, leaving no room for misunderstandings. Be sure that your body language expresses the same as your words. Here's an example of how to give appreciation and explaining why and what this personal strength can do for the focus person. From what I hear you're saying, I believe that you want the best for your colleagues. You tell me that you're concerned about Hannah's well-being when working as hard as she does. I'm convinced that when you reach your goal and tell Hannah what is needed for her to move on, then Hannah will know that you care for her. You as a leader can be a role model in the organization when appreciating your employees. You will in time see that the employees are appreciating themselves and thereby challenge obstacles that they might not have done before. They will also start appreciating each other. A person's constructed reality is the way that a person perceives a certain situation. There's no right or wrong, just different perceptions from person to person. One constructed reality is as good as another. What is important is that a person who is stuck in one constructed reality can get help from a coach to see the situation from different perspectives and thereby get a broader view on the constructed reality. Life is what you see it is and what you make it. To give a picture of a constructed reality, you can take a look at this picture. It is the number 6, isn't it? Take a look at it from the other side and now it becomes a 9. Here are more examples of different constructed realities. You're so stubborn. I care about getting the work done in the right way. You're pleasing your manager. I want to know every detail in the task. You're slow. I want to structure my work first before I can start delivering. You want attention. I want us to have fun. You do not want to spend time with others. I want us to win and don't have time for socializing. It is not possible. It is possible. We have tried that and it does not work. I want to try it in a new way. I don't have the competences. You do have the competences. The coach's responsibility is to have empathy in the situation, be attentive and curious, act as the focus person's mirror, and offer new perspectives. When the coach offers new perspectives, it could be with what ifs. For instance, what if the person is caring about what he does? What if the person wants to deliver fast? What if it is possible? Here are some clever words about the constructed reality. It's not the problem that is the problem, it's the way we think about the problem that is the problem. Problems are problems because we see them as problems. Problems are used in relations between people. Problems are temporary. We do not need to know the cause of a problem to be able to handle or solve it. We do the things that gives most meaning to us. We see the world from our picture of the world. The one who has the problem also has the key to the solution. A focused person needs to be interrupted now and then to interfere with that person's defense system. The purpose of the interruption is to help the focused person to stay on the road that leads him or her to achieve the goals. There are several reasons why a person needs to be interrupted. For example, a very talkative person tells stories instead of reflecting. This way, the focused person avoids taking actions or getting to the point of the larger agenda. A person is very focused on every detail when describing a challenge, dilemma, or possibility. This way, the focused person can get convinced that the coach knows the exact situation. At the same time, the focused person avoids getting confronted with personal questions. A person is reflecting on a certain question and for a very long time. This way, the focused person can hold on to an inner dialogue, focusing on what is not possible. A person changes the subject when a personal question comes up. This way, the focused person can return to talk about the situation and not move on to reflect upon how it can be beneficial to change own behavior. Some people are not used to reflecting at all, and the coach has to interrupt to help the process. It can feel offensive and impolite, but see it as a help for the focused person to move on. Time is limited, and the coach is responsible for spending the time so it is most valuable for the focused person. When you interrupt, you always end up with a powerful question. Here are some examples for how to interrupt. The talkative. I'm curious about one thing. What do you personally have to do to move on? The very detailed. I have a good overview of the situation now, and I do not need more details to be able to be a good coach for you. What I want to ask you is, what are the most important options you have now? The reflective, and you are interrupting an inner dialogue here. What are your most important thoughts? The person changing the subject. I observe that you have changed the subject. That is why I ask you again, what do you personally have to do? A symmetric relation is a relation where both parties are equal. This is not the easiest situation to create, since the manager has the hire and fire responsibility. Still, it is evident that the manager aims at a symmetric relation in coaching. Trust is the strongest driver and also a very complex issue. Enter the leadership path, lead and manage people to learn more about trust. The focused person needs a goal that is valuable to go for. SMART goals is a good tool to use. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attractive, realistic, and time-bound. Specific. The goal has to be concrete. A goal like, I want to be in better shape, is not concrete enough. A concrete goal can be, I want to be in better shape so that I can run 10 kilometers without a break 4 months from now. Measurable. The goal has to be measurable so the focused person knows exactly when he or she is a success. In the previous example, you know when you have reached your goal. That is when you can run 10 kilometers without a break within the 4 months. Attractive. A goal needs to be worth it. Why do you want to be able to run 10 kilometers? Is it because everyone else seems to be occupied with it, or is it because you want to accompany your spouse every Sunday for a day in the forest? A goal is attractive if it makes your life richer. To be attractive, it has to be formulated in a positive way. If the goal is to find a new job, there can be 2 reasons: moving away from or moving towards. If the focused person is moving away from, the motivation is not positive and the goal not formulated positive. It could be, I want a new job so that I can get away from the pressure I have right now. If the focused person is moving towards, the motivation is positive and the goal is formulated positive, like, I want a new job where creativity and creating new ideas is a part of the job. If the goal is formulated positive and you sense that the focused person is not overly excited, you can ask about the moving away strategy anyway, like, and what are you moving away from? Are you mostly moving away from something or moving towards something? Realistic. If a goal is not realistic, it gives you no reason to even try. Like, I have never exercised before, but I want to run a marathon next month. That goal is not realistic, and the chance of being disappointed is quite high. At the same time, the focused person will feel less competent and can be convinced that I'm not able to succeed in anything. A reason for an unrealistic goal can also be that a relationship is in the way. If the goal is to be able to run 10 kilometers, and that means at least 1 hour training a day, including to get dressed and a bath, maybe that does not fit into a family with new two-born twins and 2 kids 3 and 5 years old. Time bound. To have a goal without a deadline is the same as saying that it does not matter when I achieve it, so I do not have to focus much. A deadline helps a focused person to put a pressure on himself, and that increases the chance of success. While you are coaching, the focused person has a lot of inner dialogues going on. For every question you ask, you initiate these inner dialogues. There are often 3 levels of inner dialogues going on, and they are constantly shifting. About the others, about me, and about the coach and me. About the others. What change would I like others to do? What would I prefer their behavior to be? Why haven't they thought of it already? When would I like this to happen? How do I perceive that they are able to do it? About me. What do I have to do differently for other people to change? What is it in my behavior that I have to work with? How capable do I think I am to make the change? How much do I want to make the change? About the coach and me. What does the coach want with that question? Why is the coach interrupting me? What is the coach trying to force me to do? This was a really good question. Why is it so fantastic to have this conversation and yet so irritating? Why didn't I think of this myself instead of the coach telling me? The inner dialogue is based on the focused person's constructed reality and how he or she perceives it. The coach's job is to help people see more perspectives and not stay in the present constructed reality. If not, it is not likely that the focused person will create a movement. An example of an inner dialogue from 2 different constructed realities can be: Tom is looking at me in that way because he thinks that I did my presentation all wrong. Tom is looking at me in that way because he likes me and the way I charmed the audience at my presentation today. The coach's questions leads to important insights for a focused person, and he or she knows that the insight came because of the coach. A common inner dialogue about the coach and me is that the focused person believes that the coach have told them what to do. That inner dialogue is often expressed in later coaching conversations like, I'm happy that you forced me to. What you told me to do actually worked well. Be sure to let the focused person know that they alone created the idea. You're only a tool in the thinking process.